yourself have experienced what the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir meant, especially for a lot of women in that erstwhile state. And now that the Union territories have come into being, especially in Jammu and Kashmir, things are going to change. Tell us what it means to you in terms of what you experienced earlier and what you're expecting now.
So I think it's absolutely promising, and it's absolutely a load of relief to women like me who are born in J&K and are passionate and want to do something and leave a mark in the world, because once you step out of the state, you have no choice but to step out of the state, because there are no opportunities. And I am like anybody else. I'm a child of the conflict, right? I was deprived of adventure. I was deprived of education while I was growing up. So when you want to do something, you have no choice but to step out. And once you step out of the state as a woman, it's very difficult to go back, because it was very difficult to go back, because our children were deprived of inheritance. My husband, I would lose my, status of permanent residency, etc., because I was married to another Indian from another state, or anybody from, another country. But if I was married to someone in Pakistan, then my husband I would still remain and he would become a Kashmiri. So there were certain things which I think were very discriminatory in nature. I think there is a lot of hope that women can now go back, and I can give you an example. While we are only three sisters, three women in the family, and we had to do a distress sale because we were not sure. I live in Delhi, my sister is in Australia, and the other one, if she gets married, then what's the future? So what do? We have no choice but to really let go of our memories. Kashmir, you just said, UT and state and all of that. But for a common man, it's home. For me, there are memories of my ancestors. There are memories of my family, my childhood, my friends. I had to let go of everything. It was a very painful experience. When I was trying to negotiate a deal with someone, and it wasn't coming through, and I had to let go of everything. So I think it is definitely going to make sure that a lot of women will come back to the state, will participate in the economic development. I think they go out, they earn a lot of money and name for themselves, which also brings a lot of glory to the state. Besides,
so you said you had to let go, so you will not be able to reap the benefit of the change. But so many other women
now I would be, because my children. So I'm sure at some point I would like to go back and buy something or invest somewhere, and now I have a choice, because initially maybe I was just confined to my birthplace, which is Kishtwar, which I'm not anymore. I could go and explore, maybe, and also have maybe leave little more hopeful stories for people to learn, and I hope to see peace and prosperity and happiness with this new supersession of article that's coming in this. And I wish all the best to everyone, and I hope that they accept this change. When cycle was invented, and it was such a huge disruption that people said, now people will stop walking on the streets, they will not go for walks, people will not stop talking to their neighbors. So whenever there's any sort of change or innovation or transformation that sets in any society, in any civil society, and when we are talking about today's civil society, we are talking about sheltering ourselves in legislation, right? So if there is a new legislation, of course, I'm going to be very, very possessive about it. And because it also takes away that comfort zone, that I'm a permanent resident, I have this special status. But what I think we are lacking here is this global perspective. Look at Singapore today. It has the mind and money of outsiders. And and it had nothing, no natural resources, nothing. Look at J&K, which is full with natural resources and everything else that has the capability to develop infrastructure, of tourism, etc. But it doesn't have the mind of people. There's so much brain drain. Like I said, women like me who actually step out and don't come back. And men, unfortunately, really are not stepping out. That means they are sticking to the jobs and the opportunities and the business within the state, which is not much. So if there is no exposure, how will there be peace?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all that is set to change now, but there are still people who try to put a negative spin on everything, and they've tried to put a negative spin on this positive for women from Jammu and Kashmir as well. What would you like to say to them?
let's talk about triple talaq, because we are specifically talking about women and child development right now. So we are talking about J&K, which is Muslim majority Kashmir, okay? And that's where usually the negative conversations or dialogues happen, instigative debates happen. But people are not realizing that that triple talaq bill was not extended to Jammu and Kashmir. So what happens to my Muslim sisters and my Muslim friends? Are they not privileged? Should they not benefit from this liberal law anymore? So why? What is the answer for that? So before we go and create this hate speech...
35A was meant to give them a privileged status, and here they're denied.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. So let's get a clarity on one thing, that do we want to instigate religious hatred, or do we really want to benefit, and do we really want to extend everything? So when we talk about all of these acts, I have the number that we had about 106 acts which were which are central acts which have extended there, and about 156 which were revealed, and about 160 which continue to be as it is. So with that, the fact today is we are one flag, we are one constitution, and we are going towards unity. And ever since the independence, so we are 70 years old as an independent nation, right? We were different regions, different cultures, different things, but what we've done, what we don't realize as Indians, as responsible citizens, is that for any country to grow, economically, and for that matter in any other sphere, you have to have a natural and a national culture of peace, right? And because that is the only way which actually then supports the economic interactivity, and of course, yes, once the economic interactivity happens.
Of many countries in the world.
Sorry?
That has been the path of progress for many countries in the world.
Absolutely, yes. So now we were different regions, we've come together, but J&K was specifically, has always thought, I'm separate, I'm special. And also, this regional thing altogether, if I cannot become one, if I'm not united and I'm not open to opportunities and collaboration, the culture of collaboration, then I don't think there is going to be, any kind of peace.
Let's just say that even without these distinctions and different laws, J&K was always special, and it was always be special. The kind of place geographically, not just geographically that it is there in the hearts of all the people in the country, and of course it has its own unique place in the world as well, and that will shine through in the coming days as well, as these changes, they take hold through that region. Thanks a lot for joining us, Rachna, for the moment. We're completely out of time.
Thank you.
Thanks.